going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 4 of the Learning to Hunt series here at Maneuver Outdoors. Now, this whole one is going to be focused on scouting. Where are we going to scout? What are we actually trying to do while we're out there? Now, we're going to start out first using a map on our computer. We already talked about in the last episode of locating large parcels to actually hunt, locating public land, getting permission from landowners. Now that we're past that step here, we have our hunting license. We're going to actually go out to those places of land. We're going to look around and see if we can identify where the deer are actually living and moving and spending their daily lives in that actual land. So let's go ahead, jump right into this thing. Now, this is the same parcel of land that we talked about in the last episode, just finding the C.F. Phelps area here in Virginia. Now, we're up in the northern portion of this area, looking at one of the access points. Now, the first thing that I'm going to be looking for is actual access to this public land. Now, I'm looking for parking areas, areas where I can put my vehicle, areas where I can walk into, anything like that. So we can just start looking into this, poking around, zooming in on this right here. Everything that's not highlighted in this kind of blue color, that's all private land. All of this like kind of shaded area, that's all the public land that we go on. Right here at the top, right there, we can already see that's a parking area right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to mark that with parking area. And I'm going to leave that white so I can see it in a different sense of if I'm marking anything else. So that's one area, and I think there's another parking area right here. So we're just going to use both those. Now, a lot of people will be like, oh, like the parking area basically means that that's where all the other hunters are going to go. Like, don't worry about hunting pressure right now. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Of course, there's going to be other people. Part of hunting public land is you're going to run into other people. Don't worry about that yet. We'll get there when we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Right now, we're just focusing on getting ourselves into a hunting area. So we got two potential access points right there. We got this river running right along the back side of it that goes all the way down, basically the entire area. So we can't access this from the other side unless we have permission to cross that creek from a private land. Now, we could float with like a canoe or a kayak down that river, and depending on how deep it is, we might be able to just walk through it. So that is another potential access point, but it's not going to be the primary one when I'm first starting out. That is a way that I can definitely get into here. But if I don't have a canoe or a kayak, these two parking areas are going to be probably where I'm going to start. Now, we found those two parking areas. We want to look for places that we're going to concentrate our scouting, because I can't just go and zigzag through this area looking for any type of deer no matter what. I want to focus where I think the deer are going to be. Now, remember, three main things that dictate deer's pattern of life, with the exception of the rut, is going to be food, water, and bedding areas. Things that are going to help you focus in on that is looking for areas that are diverse. So if we're looking at this screen again, see over here on the right, like, yeah, we've got this clump of evergreens over here, we got the draw over here, but on the left side of this screen, there's a lot more diversity, just literally like changing terrain, things that are different. You've got the creek bed over here on this side, or the river on this side. You have the open agricultural fields, and then you've got some dense underbrush along the other sides, and there's some more of it actually down here as well. So this is where I'm going to start to focus my areas. And then actually, if we zoom in, we see that there's actually a small pond right here as well. So I can reasonably assume that with the amount of diversity that's in this area, something around this spot right here is going to be for a good place to actually go and look first. So I'm just going to drop a marker right next to that pond of somewhere where I want to look. So I'm just going to leave that as the X. Boom. All right, so I've got a marker placed right there, allowing me to, when I go out there, I can use this on my phone. I am using a hunting app that's called onX. I'm not supported by them or anything like that. You can just use Google Maps, or if you want to download this, it is free. Well, there's a free version and a paid version. I'm not here to promote anything. Use what you want. You can print out maps, whatever you want to have. This is just what I'm using to help me out with this starting. So, got this potential location right here that we want to look at. Now, I don't want to completely cover this thing with markers or anything like that, but I'm going to look at probably everything in this field. So that one marker is going to help me out looking in this entire area. So I'm going to widen my search a little bit more, see if I can see other things. Now, I've got these other fields down here by the river, a lot more diversity showing up in this area as well. So I'm just going to look at this and be like, where's the most diverse, or where's the terrain really going to focus everything? Now, what really kind of draws me in is going to be this area over here with these evergreens and this tree area right here. That's just looks like a really diverse area. Now, zooming in on it, don't really see a whole lot. I just see diverse. There is a little bit of topography and that multiple open fields. So I will drop another marker here, because it is another areas for us to look at, but that one, I don't know how well it's going to produce versus the other one up on the front, where I've got basically all three things in a very small scale environment. I do have water on this side, so it may come up with something, but I'm not sure yet. But it is an area that makes me curious, so I'm going to go there and look. Now, not everywhere is going to have open fields and, you know, like super obvious positions like that. So let's go over to this other side where I said there wasn't a lot of you know, diversity to actually look at, and let's focus in, see if we can find a different type of diversity rather than like the super obvious fields and stuff. So I just zoomed in. This is our original marker over here. We're gonna go over here. Now what pulls in my mind, we already talked about this evergreen that was over here. The other thing that pulls in right here is this draw going along the edge to these power lines right here. Now, whatever's in there, I'm going to assume there's some sort of water feature. It might not be a permanent stream, but I can reasonably guess and assume that there's going to be some form of water at the base of that sometimes through the year, if not all the time during the year. So that gives me a water source right there. I've got an edge right here with this evergreen area, and then a lot of just different types of topography that gives the animals different areas to hide and move around in. So this looks like another potential location, as well as these power lines that are on the side that gives them a movement corridor. So everything along in this area kind of says there might be deer here as well. So I'm going to drop a marker. Let's see. This draw right here calls my attention as well. So I've got this movement corridor of the actual power lines. I've got the bottom of the creek bed right here, pines right here, and then this draw looking right here. So I'm going to drop that, where basically all those things kind of meet, and that's going to be my third waypoint. So now that I have 3 waypoints, I have 2 potential parking locations where I can park my truck and walk out to these places. Now it's time to actually go out there and see what we can find. What are we going to actually look for out there? We're going to get into that once we're actually out there. Now, I can have multiple pins like this. I can drop it wherever I want. I can drop as many as I want, and I can go and look at them multiple times. I could have hundreds of pins if I want. I can only have 2 or 3 and just use them as general references. It's totally up to you. This is how I break it down. My access points, potential hotspots that I just want to go and look at. Once I'm actually out there, I'm going to go refine what these points actually mean to me, and as I find things, I'll start marking them down on my map, whether it's a hunting app like the one I'm using here, Google Maps where I'm just saving screenshots, or if I get a printout map of some area that I'm hunting and I'm just like, I put it up on my wall and I'm putting pins on it in the back. So let's go ahead, stop talking, let's get ourselves out in the woods to see if we can actually find some deer in these locations.